So, last week we focused on motivational interviewing from the angle of listening. How to actively listen, how to appear engaged, how to reflect back what's being said instead of your own interpretations. And this week we're going to look at it from the other angle, asking questions and saying the right thing. Combining the tools of reflective listening with a few carefully selected key questions can massively influence an individual's ambivalence towards change. Although it's often questions that get conversations started, conversations about change can be difficult to start and to keep flowing. So if you've ever felt like you're asking all the questions and getting nothing back in response, it may be a good idea to alter the kind of questions you're asking. While closed questions can prompt abrupt yes or no answers and therefore don't leave much scope for discussion, open questions encourage a longer response. Having said that, remember to avoid starting these questions with why. Questions like, why haven't you finished your dissertation? Or why don't you just eat? Can be interpreted as having an accusatory or aggressive tone. So think about alternative ways of asking the same thing. Why are you worried about this meal? Could be turned into, what is it about this meal that is worrying you? Offering your friend an opportunity to respond as they wish without feeling reproached. It's also important to recognise that commenting about what your friend is eating while you're around food is going to be difficult for them. So instead, it might help to choose a time when it's just the two of you, you're feeling relaxed, and there's no immediate source of stress. Remember, you don't have to ask questions if you feel like doing so will pressurise your friend. So instead of asking, are you going to binge after eating that? You might say, I know you struggle after eating a big evening meal. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to support you later. I'm here when you need to talk. When friends open up about something they're struggling with, it's often difficult to know how to respond. What happens if someone says, I'm so fat, or I'm worried I won't be able to stop eating? Well, you could do one of two things. Firstly, try naming the emotion with statements like, it sounds like you're feeling really anxious about the way you look right now. Alternatively, you could reflect on the wording used. I've noticed you describe yourself as fat quite a lot, yet I see otherwise. I wonder how you understand the word fat? Notice how neither of these options provide a direct reassurance of saying, you're not fat, or of course you'll be able to stop eating, don't worry. Often, someone with high anxiety levels will turn to external sources for validation or reassurance. Remember that if you alleviate their anxiety in the short term, this may prevent your friend from learning to master their own fears, and instead allow the anxiety to resurface again. Instead, try and encourage your friend to think of strategies to self-soothe. What about if they ask something like, did you put oil in this dish? I can hear you saying now, oh God, is this a moment where we have an argument about cooking techniques? Will they eat this if I'm honest? If not, should I rather lie? We'd suggest that it's always important to be honest about cooking methods and ingredients. Lying to your friend will only lose you their trust. So, a couple of tips. Your friend will probably be highly anxious if they're eating something that has been prepared by another person. So it may be better to leave any further considerations of the issue until after the food is gone. Also, try to accept that your friend may not want to eat something, or may only want to try a small bit, and be open to talking about this later if they want to. What if your friend directly expresses worries about eating? The thing is, they might well have an intense fear of losing control. Once the body is in starvation mode, people start to think about food constantly and might not be satisfied by what they do eat. Hence, your friend might fear that it would take a lot of what they consider the wrong things to fill them up. And this doesn't just apply to anorexia, because bulimia can also often involve a restriction in eating in between purges. In response to worries about eating, it can be helpful to say something like, I read that when your body is starved of certain things, it craves them more, and your brain convinces you that eating them would be a loss of control. The person writing the article said that when you have a normal diet and respond to your body's needs, you will feel satisfied and won't have to worry about losing control. Saying things like, I've read that, or experts say that, may come across as less confrontational than phrases like, I think you should. Okay, that's it. We've now gone through all of motivational interviewing over the last 2 weeks. Next week we'll be starting to talk about the different stages of recovery, so make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on that. As always, the links to Twitter and Facebook and the playlist of the rest of the videos in the series are all in the description bar down below, so make sure to check all of that out. Thank you!